Good morning and welcome to Saturday Morning Comic Talk. So this is a show where we talk about a random variety of subjects with some great indie creators. So today we're going to start it off like always with some introductions. So Lori, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Lori Calcaterra, writer creator of Path of the Pale Rider, which is a Western apocalypse series. I write for other people as well. I host podcasts. I ninja kick watermelons into outer space. Yeah, I'm one of those most interesting people on the planet. I'll leave it at that.
All right. So the most interesting people on the planet. I like that.
Ah.
All right. So Keith, tell us a little bit about yourself.
How you doing? Thanks for having me, dear Ed. I'm Keith Vaughn. I'm founder and owner of Work for Hire Production. Basically, I'm a writer, and I'm just a brand new opening up in the comic creating. And yeah, that's just where I'm at now. I have my first book, Rose Thorn, that's part of the SB verse, and we're just kicking it along. Yeah, and I also write. I'm a freelance writer, especially when I was younger, started back again writing, and yeah, here I am.
All right. Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Josh. I'm super famous for putting things in my booty hole on OnlyFans. Anything from pens to pop cans is what I say. But no, in all reality, aside from that, which gets me about $3 a month, I own Cutthroat Comics out of lovely downtrodden Ohio. And, you know, we do comics, novels, books, kids' books, self-help. Whatever we want to do. It's kind of when you own the company, every idea you have is greenlit automatically. So
Thanks,
All
Ryan.
I'm gonna check out your OnlyFans when I get a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50 cents a day.
We'll have
We'll
make sure
going
the
now.
link is in the comments, so that way you can see what's going up there next.
Yep.
Yeah, literally.
Can we do a poll? Can we vote on what goes
Yeah,
up?
we can vote on it.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So drop it in the comments. What do you want to see Josh put up there?
Come on, Cheetos.
Can you taste it from the other side?
The flaming hot ones, yeah.
Oh, well, that's a different story. Okay.
Lori, you got hot sauces, so come
God
on.
was like, put hot sauce on it and then could
Lori makes hot sauces, so maybe one of her hot sauce bottles becomes the winner.
Yeah, we'll do hot ones. Hot ones.
You've got to back your Kickstarter, get a hot sauce, and use it on the OnlyFans. And it's like live.
This show is going downhill real fast.
Path of the Pale Rider, right up the backside.
Right up the backside.
The only thing better than a zombie bear is watching Josh shove that up his ass.
Yep.
There's a zombie bear on the label. You could put the zombie bear up the pooper.
Nice.
Hey,
Nice.
see? That's what we call a win right there.
See, actually, I'll do it closed side first, and then I'll hover around and put it on the chicken wings.
What show are we on right now?
I'm sitting here doing a visual of all this.
I know. I totally saw that in my brain too. It's
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
malfunction for a
Someone's
second.
voting for Lori's hot sauce bottle.
Yeah.
That would be Dustin. Yay!
right. Okay, so yes, we have already gone off on a wild tangent, and you gotta
My
love
bad.
it.
Sorry.
And
Hey.
What is up, everybody?
how you doing? So
It's my new bestie, Lori. Good to
I
meet you.
know. Yay, Mr. Fish. We get to meet each other too. I'm so excited.
Fish.
all right, so Fish, we were just doing introductions. Josh was talking about what gets shoved up his ass. So
Oh,
things have
really?
already gone off
I'm
the rails, and
dying
I'm
to
here
know
for it.
all the details.
Yep.
Came in at the right point.
Yep. I'll make a TikTok about
There we go.
it.
Now you're the reason TikTok gets banned.
Yep.
We'll all have you to
Oh,
thank.
you have to like tease it and then put just the link of the OnlyFans. That's how you get around it.
There we go.
It's all
Be
about
careful of
Josh.
using the OnlyFans name. They will block you for using certain names. That's why I have a crank stopper running right now, not a Kickstarter, because they will flat block the video or cut the audio out and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Algorithm.
lovely.
All
Everything's
right.
being censored, huh?
Yeah, you gotta love that. I know I deal with that on YouTube. I run a music show where we can't play any music that we're talking about because they'll immediately yank off our live stream, and it would be great. My show could be enhanced so much if we were playing little audio clips throughout, but it's not something you can get away with on YouTube. So it's an unfortunate reality. And yeah, you gotta disguise everything.
Yeah. Because our First Amendment rights, but that's another story. That's another topic.
Yes.
Oh yeah, don't try using music that you paid for the rights to be able to use.
That's 100% my Kickstarter video. So every time we play it on a podcast, it gets dinged, and I'm like, son of a, you just got to make your own stuff.
Like the music on my Kickstarter right now, one of my fans wrote for me, and like he wrote this rap, and it's freaking awesome. And I'm afraid to play it anywhere because I'm going to get banned because they're going to say, oh, you don't have the rights to this because it sounds professional. So it's going to trick the bots that, oh, this is a real song, but we don't have the rights. So you must not have the rights.
Mm-hmm. It is a real song. He created it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So after a little bit off the rails here, we're going to talk our first topic, and Lori's been itching to talk about
sports. Yeah. Well, I got a story about this for sure.
All right. So it's as we're looking at this week being Super Bowl weekend, and we have a team potentially winning their third in a row. And, you know, some people like that, some people don't. So it comes down to this. What are your thoughts on dynasties? Teams, you know, teams that continue to win, and especially one of them, the dynasty where I see the, you know, Travis Kelce all over cereal boxes because he happens to be dating Taylor Swift. So it's like dynasties and, you know, keeping that going. So what are your thoughts? Do you think dynasties are good for sports or bad for sports? So Lori, what's your thought on this one?
I don't watch sports. Any sport. I watch MMA. So I'll watch fights.
That's
and I'll
my
watch
sport.
Yes. See,
right.
I like to watch the fights because I understand what's going on. But usually when there's football games or hockey games or baseball games and my whole family watches sports, I am baking bread. So I'll be in the kitchen making sourdough bread. So they're all like, yeah. And then I just post pictures of bread and I say, go bread. And now it's a thing. So that's it.
That's why I like her.
You guys
Lori makes the bread dynasty, and I
like
bread
that.
dynasty. That's a new hashtag.
This sourdough dynasty has gone back 600 generations.
Yeah, sourdough. Yeah, the sourdough.
So now you guys can give like your educated opinions about dynasties, and we'll just move on from Lori because go bread.
Go bread.
Hey, you know what?
Go bread.
I can't argue with that. You know, bread for the win.
You always win with bread.
Weekend.
Yes. Bread for everything.
Bread seems to always rise to the occasion, right?
I like that.
All right. So, Josh, what do you think about dynasties?
Not as good as a soap opera as people would think. No, you know, honestly, I only watch the NFL. That's like the only sport I watch. So, you know, I think it can be good as long as it doesn't run too damn long. Like, I think the Chiefs were on the tail end of like, all right, enough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's cool for a minute, like, you know, over a 5-year span, we get them a few times, but it's like, all right, let's, you know, let the free agents go and be on other teams. And I'm definitely over the Chiefs now. Like when they first won the first two, or, you know, or whatever, they did one, went and lost, and then they won another. I'm like, cool, you know, but now it's like, all right, tired of watching the Super Bowl every year with them in it. Let's get some new teams in there. Unless it's the Packers. If it's the Packers, they can go every year, and I'm fine with it. Other than that, everybody else sucks, and I hate them all.
Wow. Okay, a little bias there, I see.
Yeah.
Go bread.
Go bread. We'll go back to that. And
everybody keeps talking about the Chiefs being three-peat, like the first team to three-peat, and that's complete bullshit. The Packers have done it twice. Twice they've done it. Just because it wasn't technically Super Bowls doesn't mean it doesn't count. It counts. It's history. It happened. So I don't care if the Chiefs do it. They're the second team to do it.
All right. A little bias there, but I get it.
All right.
Josh, I got you.
I'm a shareholder. I got to stand up for my crew.
There you go.
Love it.
Bless your heart.
So what do you think? What do you think about dynasties, Fish?
Well, I got to say there is a reason historically that Fish and Loaves go together, and that's because I know football is the one with the pointy ball and the helmets, and that's about it. I do know I hate the Packers with a passion because my ex was from Wisconsin, and so yeah, I've had the Packers shoved down my throat my whole life. I never care to see them again. That's about all I know, really, as far as that.
How dare you. I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
That's it. See it. That's more time for the
All
fish
right.
show.
We got beef. All right. So, and once again, go bread. We know that.
Go bread. Go fish and bread.
Cheese and bread goes together. Just saying.
All right. So Keith, what do you think about dynasties?
I love them. I'm from New York, as I said before. The Yankees dynasty team. Basketball, when you deal with the LA Lakers, you deal with the Boston Celtics. Even some people want to include San Antonio Spurs in that. I just love the dynasty teams. I love it. Dallas Cowboys. No, I feel like this. If you have all the tools that it takes to have management to put a team together, why not? Why not? Like, you get what you pay for. And if it's a dynasty team that is dominant, that can continue doing what they do, kudos to you. So that's my personal opinion on it. I mean, winners.
I guess dynasties, for me, what annoys me about dynasties is the bandwagoners that pop out. Because right now there's a million Chiefs jerseys running around California that didn't, they probably traded in their Patriots jerseys for Chiefs jerseys. Because it's like, oh, this is the new dynasty. I like them now. And, it's like their Brady jerseys have been traded in for Mahomes jerseys. And I find them boring, but it's because my team's never been that good. And I watch a team that generally, if they make the playoffs, you call that a win, because you can count on one hand how many times they even make the playoffs. So when you root for the Mets and they suck, you hate the other dynasties because you're not them. But all right, we're going to move off of sports because I know go bread and fish pointy ball. So now we'll talk about something maybe we can all talk about. And that is what's something that happened in your childhood that would just freak out the current generation? What's something that was okay in your childhood? Not even like some terrible thing, just something that would have been looked at back then as perfectly acceptable that now current generations would just lose their minds if they knew was okay. So Laura, you have anyone for this one?
I mean, there's so many things about growing up in the 80s where you could pick from, and I'm just going to go with Red Rover. I don't know if kids still play Red Rover. I don't think so, because I don't think neither one of my girls have talked about Red Rover, but playing a game where you clothesline your opponent is part of the game. I don't think that would be, a highly sought after game at this point for the playgrounds.
Yeah, we played fucked up games in the 80s, like Red Rover, Bloody Knuckles. I mean, all that shit was regular. If you didn't play Bloody Knuckles, you were just a wuss. And like, all right, let's play Bloody Knuckles. Like, that doesn't sound that fun to me. Well, what the fuck's wrong with you? All right, fine, here.
Well, the thing is,
traumatize my poor hand. Let's do it.
Kids even
Red Rover. There you go. Like let's clothesline each other for fun.
Yeah, clothesline each other for fun. And it was like you always got hit in the neck, and it's like whoosh, and you just fling into the air, can't breathe for a few minutes.
And like it wasn't that bad.
You got to hit them and lift just a little bit. Get those feet off the ground, and then they'll spin.
See if they go all the way over.
Get that Charlie Brown flipping like the football guy.
Send them back the way they came.
Have you guys seen this clip? It's like in the 1950s, and they kind of go from like the 50s all the way up until now, where the kids playing in the playground. And they have the kids in the 50s and 60s. They're like 40 feet up in the air, doing the jungle gyms, no safety harness or anything.
Right.
Oh, man, they built those first jungle gyms like 3 stories tall, man. You could hit 6 levels of pipes on the way down.
And the kids did not think anything of it, And I was watching one just the other day where I remember in gym, you would have to climb the rope. You had no type of you had the coach like, all right, if you fall, what is he gonna do?
And it was like 4 stories. Like
there's a solid 2 inches of foam at the bottom, dude. Don't forget the foam mat.
Yeah. You go 3 feet now, and it's like whistle, no cupcake, snowflakes, no. And it's just a different breed. Like what's that? We used to drink from the water hose and it's
just
different.
Go out and play all day during the summer, and our parents had no idea where we were. We were in like some corporate buildings, grassy field, picking up rocks.
We were breaking into old houses that were abandoned. Like, this house is haunted. Let's go bust the ghost.
Yes. Now
Yeah.
it's now it's like I have stepkids and they're like, oh, the internet is off. I'm depressed. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm like,
go outside.
Go build a go-kart, dude. Go do something.
Something. Use
Go
your
build a
creativity.
fire. I don't care.
It's not in my house.
Go build a fort and get tetanus, dude. Come on. What are you doing?
Go outside. Bye.
Yeah.
Hey, Dante.
Very different now. Very different.
All right. So Josh, what's something you can think of from growing up in the 80s/90s that would baffle children today?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of along the same lines. I think we're all probably going to basically answer the same things, but I'm not a hover parent necessarily, but like my kid doesn't just wander off like we used to do. Like I grew up, the meat of my childhood, like first grade all the way to about fifth grade was in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And I owe an apology to some random construction worker because we used to break into, I wouldn't even say break in. They'd be building houses, and after the workers would leave, my friends and I would go and swing from the rafters and shit. And I was just telling my boss the other day, this one time we found somebody had oatmeal cream pies, a whole box, and me and my friends gobbled them fuckers up. So this guy or girl, I guess, came in the next day thinking probably raccoons ate all their cream pies or whatever. But
grubby little handprints everywhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was like another time there was like this sinkhole, which was like literally, I mean, I guess I'm going to say 15 feet. I was 3 feet tall, so maybe it was 10 feet. But there was like a tree with like vines, and we were like swinging over this freaking sinkhole on vines. And I remember the one broke and I fell. I definitely had a concussion, but I got up, grabbed another vine, and did it again. You know what I mean? Like,
walk it off.
Yeah.
You weren't a punk. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't get called a wuss. You got to get out there and do it again.
Yeah.
All right. So Fish, what's something you can think of from your childhood that would baffle children today?
Okay, now I need to preface this with I may be a little more redneck than some of y'all, and I grew up down south, and we got creative. And like if we were going to go out and do something, we had to learn to build our own stuff. We did things that not a lot of city folks would do. Like, I had friends that grew up like blowing up stumps in their yard and stuff with their dad, or blowing up beaver dams and stuff to clear out the creeks. So like it was not uncommon for us to say, go fishing with improvised devices, let's say, so I don't go to prison. And, and then just scoop up all the fish after the shockwaves. Like we would do that a lot.
Talking about
remember.
Explosives?
I am not specifically saying that word
I'm gonna
for a variety of reasons.
But
low order. If we were discussing explosives, it's low order, just to be specific. But not high, because that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
but like I remember in high school, we were making plumbing-based devices that we were throwing out the car window into pig pens to watch the pigs take off running and stuff when they got scared in the middle of the night. We got pulled over by the cops with plumbing-based improvised devices in the car, lighters, gasoline to make Molotov cocktails, and we got sent home with boys being boys. Y'all stop this before I have to take y'all in. And like a few years later, big nationwide events happened that changed the news. And now all of a sudden, like if I had done that like
after
5
that?
Years later,
Yeah.
I would still be in federal prison.
Yeah.
But like, we could do that. We could, but we had lawn darts and stuff, and we got machetes as kids to go out and hack our way through the woods, and we were given 22s and stuff, and sometimes Timmy got shot, but we had a lot of fun and shot a lot of cow pies and stuff and squirrels and things, and it was a very different world.
That's a different time. Can you imagine our kids doing that now?
Oh man, I remember my buddy checking a book out of the school library about how to booby trap your home, and it had like the thing from Nightmare on Elm Street where she makes a bomb out of a light bulb and they trip it with a trip wire and it turns and blows up. Like all of the gags from there were in this book of how
That
to, like,
book.
protect your home with
Yeah.
improvised devices. And we tore through that book, man. We made about half of it.
Fun
Different
time.
world, man. Different world.
Oh yeah.
And you checked it out from where?
School library.
School library. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's
Couldn't
the
have a
best
book
part.
on witchcraft, but by God, we had a book on improvised explosives.
Good times, man.
All right. So Keith, what's something from your childhood that would shock the generation today?
I thought I've already said it, but no, I'm just hearing fish, man. I'm just thinking just simple things. Riding in the back of a pickup truck.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah,
flipping over in the back of a pickup truck.
You and 8 friends tossed in the back of a truck.
Yeah, it's just a different time, and I speak to people like when I get into the conversation. I'm 44 years old, and just seeing the beginning, how things were to now. I wish I would have seen a podcast of what you did with the video games. I had the original Coleco and the original Atari. To see that to every game system that I had, every game system ever out, to where we're at now with the PS5 and everything else like that. I remember just talking to my buddies about these concepts that are reality now. Things are just so rapid. In sports, there are 16, 15 years old that has a deeper voice than me and are like twice my size. It's just things have just changed and progressed. I just think everything. I think anything that you kind of think of is just kind of like, wow, look how things change. One specifically, I know I'm going to wrap it up. I was speaking to I do Uber sometimes. I was talking to a guy about movies, and we were talking about The Matrix. And first of all, he didn't see it. He was 18 years old. And I was like, what? That was like 20 years ago, come to find out. But I was speaking to him about a modem and about dial-up, and he had no idea what I was talking about. And I'm like, boom. He was like, what? I'm like, just forget it. I'm old. But yeah.
They're only going to know it if it's a meme. I know that meme. That's the dial-up meme. Those are funny. It's exactly. That's how they would know any of the stuff. But yeah, I just think about all that. Like, if you go back and watch all those PSAs from G.I. Joe and Transformers and He-Man, everything's about being home alone. And don't
absolutely.
Take pills. Don't take the pills in your house if your parents aren't home. And if you're home alone,
don't set fire to the curtains.
I mean, everything is like all these fucked up things kids would do because they're home alone. And I mean, for us, it was in the daylight hours. We weren't allowed in the house in the summer. It was like get outside. So your friends would find some crazy shit to get into, and it's like I remember same kind of thing like Josh, a construction site, and they had all these bags of cement, and I thought, I should make one of these King Arthur sword. So I poked a hole in it, poured water in it, and then the next day, like, all right, which one of us gets to be king? So and then it's like the construction guy found us, and he's screaming at us. I'm like, what the hell? We just wanted to see who King Arthur was. You don't have to get all pissy about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I remember being on like the third story of a construction set at OSU campus, and they hadn't put the walls up in yet, but the floors were up and most of the girders and stuff were in there. And we were daring each other to swing out on an extension cord off that third story and, swing out and then come back. And, it scared the crap out of me. I wasn't going to punk out, but I did. I absolutely did it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You had to do it. Whatever the stupid dare was, you were just like, all right, cool, let's do it.
I have a tattoo on my finger for the rest of my life from a dare that I never even got to prove to the chick that I actually started to tattoo her name into my finger because I never saw her again. But she dared me, and I did it. And now I have to answer for what the tattoo means for the rest of my freaking life.
Dedication.
Can I say something real quick? Do you guys see a difference between what I said and what you said? This is why women live longer. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Absolutely.
We're
100%.
Fair enough.
Oh no.
That is true.
Yeah, even on the PSAs, most of them were boys doing the dumb shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't jump into the swimming pool when your parents aren't home.
Don't put things in the electrical socket.
All the things you're gonna do to kill you. G.I. Joe's trying to teach you not to do them because your parents sure as hell weren't going to tell you. But I'll listen to friggin' Duke if he tells me.
Oh, yeah. Does anybody else remember playing Stretch as a kid? I freaking loved that game.
Stretch?
Oh, yeah. It was my favorite game in the world. We get like a big old knife, and we'd be like standing in front of each other, and you throw it in the ground, and like if I stick it, you got to stretch one leg to meet it. Then you throw it, I got to stretch one leg to meet it, and we try and get each other to stretch out as far as we can. If it doesn't stick, you lose your turn, and eventually we get to doing really challenging stuff like freaking throwing it in a tree. And I remember one time, like there's a whole bunch of us playing on the street, playing the yards and stuff. I chunked this butcher knife up in the air over the street, landed it in the middle of my front yard, and it stuck. And I was like, all right, stretch, punk. And I won. And everybody cheered. It could have just as easily come down the top of some kid's head. Like, absolutely had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, we didn't play that.
Awesome.
Never heard of that one.
No, we didn't do stretch. I mean, we did some dumb shit because I grew up in the desert where it was, you know, every child out there was feral. I mean, we were just completely insane, and our parents were fine with it. Like, all right, as long as you come back alive, we're going to call it a victory.
That's all that matters.
Right. As long as you're not on the milk carton, we're fine.
I mean, I remember. Hey, cover your ears.
Uh-oh.
I remember, like, literally, my friend stole packs of cigarettes in second grade. We're out in the woods smoking cigarettes. So, I mean, it's just redneck shit.
Oh man, we could buy them at one store because my kids.
Cool. Oh, go ahead, Fish. Go ahead.
I was going to say my buddy's parents sent him down to the store to buy cigarettes all the time. So as long as we got Marlboro Light 100s, we could buy all the cigarettes we wanted at this one store because his parents
share them with me.
Yeah. And so, like, we bought 2 packs one day and went home and smoked those 2 packs that afternoon. And somehow my mom could tell as soon as I walked in the door from across the house that I'd been smoking. It took me years to figure out how she figured that out.
Like, we did dangerous, cool stuff. Kids nowadays, like, eating and drinking Tide Pods, and you know,
like, it's just dumb.
Stuff. Like, the stuff we did was like, it was a rite of passage, you know. And like these kids now, are just like, oh, let me eat this little Tide Pod and see what it does. And
now, I mean, we weren't that much smarter because we ate freaking Pop Rocks and soda, knowing full well, believing in our hearts we were going to blow up. We still freaking did it.
That was cool though.
But at least
Tide
you did
Pods
it
existed
yourself
when we
and
were
not
kids.
like
We would have eaten that
animals.
shit. I mean, we're just, we didn't have them. I mean, I wouldn't grab the laundry soap, but I ate lots of dog food. So, I mean, I was not some genius.
But everyone ate dog food.
That's true. Yeah.
We all ate dog food. That was normal.
Man, that canned stuff looks so much like chili. Like, it looks so much. Like,
it's the same ingredients if you think about it, though. As the meat, it just has
ain't the same ratio. I'm here to tell you.
You know, I've just met some of you, and I'm starting to question your life choices.
But here's the thing: we're still alive, Lori. We survived our insane childhoods, and we can tell our children don't do that.
I have a
shit we did.
lifelong neurological disorder. Don't necessarily use this as a roadmap for your life.
No. I wouldn't promote any of these things.
No,
even the simple back of the truck, which was the way of transportation that I had. We got tossed around so many times. I fell out of 2 moving cars. So yeah, that shit's not okay. But you know, I live to speak about it. So yeah, I mean, the fact that I've fallen onto 2 freeways in moving cars, is saying something that our childhood should have fucking killed us. We're just still alive.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad everyone is still here.
Only the brave and the bold make it, baby.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say.
Go bread.
Mm-hmm.
Go bread. Yeah.
I would much rather be baking bread than getting myself blown up or shot or stabbed or any of the
falling
stuff
out of moving cars.
Yeah, I'd much rather be baking bread.
I wish I would have learned baking.
I don't know.
As a child.
I'm a masochist. Instead of,
and I fell out of the 2 cars. And
Well, see, I'm that equal parts of I bake bread, but I also knife fight because you gotta have a nice balance of destruction and creation in there.
Okay,
that works.
Are you really alive if you're not bleeding?
We do a little schema.
It's true. If you don't know how far you can push yourself, have you really lived? Right?
Sounds right to me.
Lori, real quick, we do a screamer.
Cali's Illustrissimo.
Okay, got you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's a derivative. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's Cali, but we follow the Illustrissimo line.
Okay. We have to keep in touch. Yeah.
Yeah, I like me some martial arts.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, so let's move on to something completely safe and sane. and reboots, because they're rebooting Fantastic Four again. And I don't know if the Thing's going to lose his junk this time, like the last movie when he becomes a rock man. But they're rebooting it. So here's the thought. What do you think about reboots? And is there anything you'd actually like to see rebooted in the future? Not just MCU reboot, but anything is kind of fair game on this one, because you look and every 5 minutes you blink and there's something being rebooted. So is there something that's missing that needs to be rebooted, or should we just stop them all and then, no more reboots and that's the rule? So what do you think, Lori? Anything you want to see rebooted, or are you just against them?
I am against reboots. I feel like since the writer's strike happened, all we've gotten is reboots and prequels, sequels. We really haven't gotten anything new. Maybe one or two, you know what I mean? Like, then it's not always good stuff. I don't know how it gets greenlit, but it's through. But it's still better than, like, I don't need another Ghostbusters. I don't need another Interview with the Vampire. Like, leave those things alone, right?
But here's 5 IPs in this room right now that we could be seeing something new on the screen, something that would actually be exciting and fun to watch, instead of, okay, here's a live action version of fill in the blank, whatever fucking Disney movie they want to reboot and live action it next. And we added one more song, so it's actually different.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's why they do it, because there's no more DVD release, right? So you have theater and then you have streaming, and that's it. So they're missing out a whole nother revenue chain, line of revenue. And so they aren't taking chances on new things. They're bringing back the IPs that already have an audience to sit down and watch them. Yeah. Because they're missing out on the revenue that they used to get from DVDs. And so that's why. But I don't know what the answer is there. There's got to be a way that we can see new material. But I mean, if I had to pick one thing to reboot, and again, I'm against reboots. I think you should leave this movie alone. But I love this cult classic called The Cell with Jennifer Lopez and D'Onofrio. And since it was released, we haven't seen anything from that world, which was so interesting to me, being in that dream state in someone else's mind. That's what I would pick. I would like to go explore that some more. So
and you could just do a proper sequel to it where she goes into someone else's mind, and because that was it. I mean, the thing about that movie too is it like so visually interesting. Yes, and a great movie that just kind of got underrated. And I guess if you're gonna reboot something, let's not see Snow White again. Let's not see all the things that they were good the first time. Let's see something that does deserve more of that world explored, where the world didn't get its full exposure. So that's The Cell would be a good one. I like that one.
They could do a zombie bear. They totally could. It would be millions of dollars. That's, I think, what works against my property is like, we're getting into, you guys are going to see when we start getting further into the story, there's some really big set pieces with a lot of moving bodies. It would cost millions of dollars to do like issue 7. Just issue 7. So it's like, maybe we should animate it instead, would cost less money. But that's,
you know what, they spend millions of dollars on these kind of just tired rehashes. Why not spend it on a good IP? Because you think about The Matrix, when it came out,
nobody knew what it was.
Cost a lot of money, but it was worth the money. I mean, let's
not
not
but
speak
back
of the
then
sequels,
they still had DVD releases.
Yeah, and they knew that they could double their income once it came onto the DVDs.
Yes, we don't have that now. So I mean, like, we saw a new movie, Flight Risk, and Flight Risk is the one with Mark Wahlberg
directed it. And
Mel Gibson directed it, and it's a B movie. Let's be honest, right? Yeah. But it follows that same line where it's like the production cost is low. Most of it was shot inside the airplane, so they had one setting, one backdrop, so they're not going to multiple locations, and it's 3 people in their cast and like some extras at the end. That's the stuff that studios will look at to greenlight, because it doesn't cost them anything and they can recap that money quickly. My story is not that. And I'm sure none of yours is either. And so that's why we're not seeing, green lights in our future anytime soon. Hollywood is doing a something. They're going to have some kind of renaissance at some point.
Yeah, and the none of the IP we're playing with is like cool indie movie IP. It's big budget stuff, and
Big budget, which they won't
they're afraid to take the risk on a big budget movie
until you
when it
build
doesn't
that
have
audience.
established IP. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
you
as
need to
Netflix
build that
streamers,
audience.
like that's kind of the best case scenario is maybe throw it on a Netflix streamable thing.
Well,
Yeah, and I mean, again, animation is still cheaper than live action. So
yeah.
I
So
mean,
there's
that's
always
it.
that.
I don't know
I
about you
could
guys.
see an animated series of Green Zone with a giant 8-foot lizard monster in it,
Yeah.
but they're
That'd
not
be
going to
cool, man.
CGI that in every scene in a cop car. They're not going to
Right.
do that. That's too much.
No,
That would be hilarious,
You're
though.
talking
You could just put 'em down.
Marvel budget to do that in live action,
yeah.
but
Right.
animated, it could still look great, and
Well, I mean, like
there's a way to get it out there.
Castlevania, right now, they just released a new season, is fabulous. It has
Yeah.
action, it has gore, it has, I mean, like, if you could get the Castlevania treatment for your IP, would you do that? That's a great question.
For sure.
Well,
I
some of
would.
the things they did kind of good. I mean, if you look, the Guardians of the Galaxy, that
Yeah.
no one knew anything about that. That's not even the original characters of Guardian of the Galaxy. They went a whole new direction, and it did well. Although you look who's behind it. I mean, guns.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's a balance. I mean, I've known they've done that a lot with the anime, like you've mentioned. They've done that with the boy. Well, that's live action, but the boys and these going to the comic books, they did it with Invincible. They're
Well,
different.
but again, you're talking about like that's Robert Kirkman. Robert Kirkman is a lot of
Yeah.
money behind him and a big
Oh,
name.
yeah.
So-
But even kind of like before then, you know, like look at Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was just a zombie. You know, it's not what we know it now as The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
You know, before
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman was Robert Kirkman.
They took a chance on that.
Yeah. So they've taken
Yeah.
The Matrix was a chance. Will
Yeah.
Smith, he read the script, didn't understand it.
Turned it down. Yeah, turned it
The
down.
world's not the real world. What does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
God, could you imagine passing on that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a mixed bag, but I do understand overall where you're coming from. I really know what I would like to see reboot. I'm taking over your thing, Ed. You're going.
I know.
All right.
He just comes in. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it."
Sorry, I'll wait my turn. Let me just shut up.
All right, so you can take your turn, then we'll go back to Josh and Fish. So no problem.
No,
What's yours, Keith?
honestly, I would like them to reboot Spawn. I think with the
Yeah.
technology now.
Yeah, the first Spawn was so rough, and
Yeah.
it's a great IP.
yes.
So it deserves a second chance without that god awful CGI that the first one had.
Yeah, that what I would really like to see. Just to reboot. Overall reboots. I'm 80s baby to the core. I'm about nostalgia. I'm about nostalgia. Leave it alone. What they did to RoboCop was blasphemous. You know, just leave it alone. But I can, you know, like Conan. It's not even not a reboot because they tried that with Jason Momoa. Oh my gosh! But I would like to see a third Conan with him being King Conan. I don't think would ever happen. That's not really a reboot, but as Lori said, a continuation. You know what I mean of the stories. But my top one would be Spawn.
Yeah, and
They're
that
doing
deserves
it.
a second chance.
Yeah.
I think they are. I'm Googling it right now.
Oh, for
I
real?
think-
Oh,
Okay.
good day.
I think
You've
it's
been
coming
talking
this
about
year.
it for a long time.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
it's been
staying
in
or
the
not,
works
but we're
for
gonna look.
years.
I think they
Yeah.
said Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx,
Gonna
yeah.
do it.
Okay, yeah, it could be.
Oh,
good.
you know what? I'll deal with that. Hey, and him being was Sam. Yeah, it's just Sam, not Sam. Al being Al Simmons. Yeah,
yeah, that could be good.
yeah.
All right, so Josh, anything you want to see rebooted out there?
So
Maybe
first,
not.
I agree with what everybody has said. Personally, I don't mind a reboot sometimes. Like for instance, like they've announced Labyrinth.
Yes.
And like
Leave it alone.
Thank
I
you.
agree, leave it alone. But at the same time, I'm like, let's see what you can do. Can you make something cool?
I feel you.
You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, you know, I'm interested. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah,
But there are certain things like Back to the Future, for instance. Don't ever touch.
yeah, leave that alone, please.
I agree.
You would hope, but someone's gonna meddle. You know they will.
Well, the creators would have to die because they've pretty much said that they'll never greenlight a reboot. But
Okay.
they're not immortal, so
Right.
it'll eventually happen. Like, all right, cool. We finally
Someone's
had those
gonna
guys
throw-
die that were blocking our reboot, so let's get
Yeah.
that thing started.
And they'll just throw money at it. They'll just throw a
Yeah.
ton of money at it.
So
And
so
it'll
one thing,
lose the heart. It'll be, bigger budget, better effects, and you lose the heart, and that's what made the movies loved the
Mhm.
first time. So
Right.
yeah, that's, unfortunately that's what we'll keep seeing. So anything you want to see out there rebooted, Fish?
I'm torn because I used to always be like Lori, and I hated any reboot. Why wouldn't you come up with something original? Why rehash this thing over and over again? And why change it? Like, it drove me nuts when they would change things when they would reboot it. Like the changes they made from the Ninja Turtles from the comics to the animated series, and then from the animated series to the movie, it drove me nuts.
Yeah.
But then it was something that actually Todd McFarlane said when he was doing Spawn, and people were complaining about him changing stuff in the movie and then the animated series. And he was like, if I'm getting another chance to tell a story from the beginning for the first time, why wouldn't I change it and make it the best it could possibly be? Like, that's the best I could do back then, but I've had time to think about this and marinate on it, and now I can make the story better and richer and more interesting.
Yeah.
And that really changed my point of view on it. And like, since then, I have loved every iteration of the Ninja Turtles that ever came out for different reasons. I love them all for what they are, when they are, who they are, and not comparing them to each other, or no, it's not my Ninja Turtles. Like, they're all cool in their own way for their own thing. So I'm not against it. I am against them just blanketly making remakes of everything and not making anything original, because it's easier to bet on something that already made money than make a new IP. That bugs the hell out of me. I don't need to see, I don't need a new Star Wars property every month. Like, I love Star Wars. I don't need this much Star Wars in my life. I'd be fine with one every year or two. That's fine. Let's put that money into some new ideas and make some new stuff. Let's invest in some new creators and get their stuff done.
Yeah, I agree. There's so many great IPs out there, but I know Netflix was pretty much, for a while, they were buying up all the indie comics they could possibly find, and they had managed to screw over a lot of these creators, because now their IP is locked up. They're not going to make the show. So it's kind of, at first they thought this is the way we're going to make indie shows streaming, and they decided, nope, never mind, we don't want to do that anymore. And now people have had their material locked up. But the only one I can really think of that I'd want to see rebooted, which is kind of not a reboot, but I would love to see Hellboy finished by Guillermo del Toro, where his first two ended in a place where we had more to go. And I want to see the end of his vision. And we keep seeing Hellboy movies, and they have diminishing returns. None of them are on the level of Guillermo del Toro stuff.
I agree.
Visually, storytelling wise. So I want to see Guillermo get in there and finish his trilogy properly.
No. Good choice. Good choice. I like that. I totally agree.
All right. So
I just want to ask everybody kind of a question, sort of. So when I first started writing and stuff, like, I have notes in my phone, like that's how I keep track of all my different ideas. I had a whole list of IPs that I was like, man, if I can just get to that point where I can grab that IP and do something with it. So I'm not going to say the ones that I still have, because I'm not putting that out in the world for somebody else to take. But I just want to list some of the ones I had, and it drives me. Oh, it makes me so mad. So I wanted to do an Ernest comic book. Already done. Somebody literally just did it a couple months ago. Twisted Metal I wanted to do, which was a great show. I was so mad. And then there was like an Artful Dodger from Oliver Twist. There's a show of that.
Cool.
So it's one of those things. I wonder if you guys have lists like that too. And has there ever been one that gets grabbed before you get to it and you're like, God dang it?
Man.
Yeah,
man, I've had so many times where, like, I've come up with a cool idea for a character and a name and a look and a costume, and then see that book come out like 3 or 4 months later, to the point that I was convinced people were spying on me for a while. Then I eventually realized my ideas weren't just weren't that original, and we were all ripping off the same things. And but like, my Alice Lost in Wonderland story, I wanted to launch it a couple of years ago when I launched Green Zone, but there were a couple other stories that came out from like Image and Alterna and stuff that just felt too similar, that I was afraid, even though I'd been working on this story for 30 years, I was afraid if I launched it right now, I'd look like a copycat. So I didn't want to do that. So I held on to it, and I did my second love, Green Zone, instead. And now I get to launch Alice now that other stuff is out of the way.
Nice.
Well, even I think Lori and I are doing something kind of in the same vein, because yours is like a Western zombie thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And mine is also kind of, I think just the other day I saw one of your posts. I was like, hers is a zombie Western too. I was like, I did not know, you know what I mean? So it's inevitable. You're going to,
right.
Great minds are going to come up with the best things.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
I think with me, it's funny because I remember when I was young, just going back with video games, my buddy and I used to really write a lot. And I still to this day feel Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, was stolen from me when I was like 10, 11 years old. I swear someone was listening, like with you, Fish, someone was listening on the phone while I was talking to a friend about this character who was basically the female Indiana Jones. And when that character came about in a video game to what it is now, almost identical. I don't know, was I a premonition in the future, whatever.
Right.
No, I have a lot of, that's what's so funny, and I'm going to try to rush it up. We're writers, and there's nothing new under the sun. So you try to kind of like, what can I present to the audience that has not been done that they can't compare it? And I have, just in my world alone, the SB verse, I have over 50 characters. And out of all those characters, some shape, form, or fashion, if you know comic books, just theater or whatever, you could compare them to someone. Mm-hmm. So to try to get away from that, I try to have like the backstories. I try to have them flawed, mental issues, emotional, different things like that. But it's so hard. It's so much competition out there. There's just so many ideas out there. I guarantee you right now, between the five of us, we probably going through our characters have someone or something that's totally the same.
Similar.
Yeah, that we could kind of compare. And then backstory might be different. Or, I noticed one of my characters, she's a girl, black hair, has a corset, 2 guns, black leather pants, black boots. And the first thing when I was creating her, I was like, oh my God, she reminds me of Trish from Devils May Cry, just with black hair.
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean? I was just like the choker and everything. I was like, oh my gosh. Then I started, Double Impact back in the day that Shikari just rebooted. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, okay. And this just, I was like, okay, I can't redo everything. Let me now just go with her storyline, her backstory. Anyone has that backstory, there's a problem. But
yeah,
try to negate that, and I'm going to finish up. I try to base my characters off of real people. So out of my 50 characters, almost 40 of them are actually modeled after people that are in my life that I know. So that's how I kind of
I mean, and similarities are going to happen. It's inevitable. And I think Lori and I both have a decapitated head character. So
wow,
you can get in. We're both dealing with immortality in the world. So different like versions of immortality, but we both have a decapitated head who's one of our main characters. So, and I had never read or seen Lori's book when I was making mine, but it's people will always tell you, oh, well, you're stealing from this or stealing from that. Like everything's stolen. So it's like I got my idea from Gulliver's Travels. So I tell people I only steal from the best. So
we're all ripping off Futurama.
The best. I like that.
All right, so let's talk about campaigns. We all have some out there, and we're going to show a few commercials for the network as well. So we'll do a campaign and a commercial, and then going from there. So Lori, I'm going to pull yours up right now, and you can tell us all about it. So just 1 second, let me get it up.
All right,
get it up fast. Hurry up, get it up.
There we go. All right, so we seen it.
No.
Wait,
okay. Well, let me see. Oh, here we go.
Gotta add it to
there we go. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry. Raging Fever today. It's just surviving this show for me, but you know what? You guys are keeping things moving, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about Path of the Pale Rider and your epic zombie bear, who is my favorite.
Yes. Welcome to Path of the Pale Rider. We are a little different than what you've seen before because we don't have flesh-eating zombies. We just have people who are undead. Death is broken in this world. So your body can die, but your soul or your energy does not leave your body upon death. So if you like things like Fallout, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, The Walking Dead, and Cocaine Bear, that's kind of the boxes that we check.
Okay.
You're going to find things like conspiracy theories, zombie bears, zombie ethics, and a whole lot of action in what is now the future West, because things have it's all fallen apart. Society is basically back to the Wild West, but in the future. So this is my campaign. I would love for you guys to go take a look. You can see some interior pages of our current issue. We have some crazy things in our rewards, like comics and hot sauce and secret rewards. We got a ton of apparel. I got a whole bunch of things. So yeah.
And you're going to add the OnlyFans tier, I'm assuming, with the hot sauce.
OnlyFans will be next campaign.
Okay.
And that's only for my feet, people. Or I'm just going to send you to Josh's OnlyFans.
No, the Josh's OnlyFans.
Okay. So that's a stretch
So you guys
goal.
should have done a crossover on your campaigns.
Yeah.
And
We'll do a stretch goal.
50-50.
We'll do a stretch goal. Yeah, that if we get to a certain dollar amount, I'll just send you a hot sauce for free, and then you can stick it up your butt, and they'll cheer you on.
Yes.
Oh, I like these cards.
You know what? I'm going to make all these GIFs into one GIF starting next campaign, because there's, we're on issue 6 now.
Oh, wow.
Scrolling through six, separate GIFs is a lot. So we're just going to put it all into one GIF and make it easier. So
sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you do the alternating, like moving through all the different pages. So
yeah, so you guys can see kind of where we've come from and where we are now. We have a couple. I only did 2 this time, but we have wooden covers. We have beautiful sketch covers available from Gilbert Perez. So you can pick a tier. Well, you can pick the character, but I'm also going to be putting up starting next week some of these other sketch covers that he has completed as an add-on. These are some of our cool t-shirts. I got a million designs. I'm always thinking of a million more. And I make these myself. So if you have
me too.
But yeah, specification that you're looking for, I can put it together for you. I am opening up youth and children's sizes in the t-shirts.
Okay.
There's 2 spots left for the Funkos. Yeah. We usually do a brand new Funko design, which always flies. That's one of the first pledges that always goes. And then we have 5 available from the previous one. There's 2 spots left for that Funko. Secret rewards. I'm not telling you what it is, but it's always a little bit warped, because that's how I roll. Wooden covers. We have puzzles. This is the new puzzle design. Tons of stuff in the add-ons. We have a choose your own adventure book called Choose Your Own Path, where you get to put on the hat and boots and walk around the apocalyptic West and see if you make it through to the end. You probably won't. I like to kill people in creative and gross ways, but you can just try again. I added some unique items. I rebind books, and I make a ton of stuff myself, you guys, but those are both gone at this point. So swag bags, get a plethora of things, and I choose it for you. That's been pretty cool. And then the hot sauce I make myself.
So what level of spice is the hot sauce? Is it crazy hot or more flavor, less hot? More
flavor, less hot. Like the Path of the Pale sauce is a ghost pepper barbecue. I'd say it's medium or medium hot, depending on your tolerance. But I don't go any higher than medium hot. The Meet Your Maker mango habanero, same spice level. The jalapeno serrano one is usually mild, but it can get a kick just depending on what time of year I get the peppers, because in the summertime they're a little bit hotter.
Jalapenos are unpredictable. You could get a batch and
too.
They'll knock you down, and other batches are, eating a cucumber.
Nothing. Yeah. But that one's a top seller. It cracks me up because I do these sampler packs. You get a discount if you get 3. And some people are like, just put 3 green sauces in a box for me. So this is the new flavor we just did, but there was only 6 bottles, the Jack's Revenge. So we do this stretch goal every campaign where I dress up as Pikachu and murder a fruit or vegetable. We murdered a jackfruit last campaign. The fans named it Jack the Ripper, and then I made hot sauce from it. So yeah. We're stretch goals. We're unlocking poker cards every 50 backers. We're unlocking all sorts of stuff at dollar stretch goals. We're getting close to the next dollar stretch goal. So We're at 88 backers and 54.20. Another $80 will unlock the holographic stickers.
Nice.
So this guy will be a 3-inch holographic sticker.
Let me go back up to
And then
him.
we will unlock the slice and dice. This guy, yeah, the big boy
Nice.
James will be 3-inch holographic stickers. That's what we'll probably unlock next. Okay, there's me smashing pumpkins because I think it's hilarious. We got scratch and sniff stickers coming. Yes, there is a zombie flesh scented sticker. I hope we unlock this bad boy because I really want to make these. There's a ton of stuff. We also write riddles and we produce short films that are fan interactive. And so if you want to go down the rabbit hole and solve some riddles and touch the world of Path of the Pale Rider like it's real, you can get stuff in your mailbox from a character. You can find secret videos on YouTube, secret websites, phone numbers that work. There's this whole other side to Path of the Pale Rider should you choose.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, our short films you can see. And there's a ton of fan interaction in these. If you want to be in these, I always open the door and I'll tell you what I'm looking for. Hey, Cameron. Yeah, more sauce and Big James. That's everybody's fan favorite. There's Gilbert. He's our penciler and inker. Matt Chambers, who's our colorist. And then, of course, Rachel Bullock, who is our editor-in-chief and keeps us looking polished. That's about it, Ed. It's just fund allocation. We don't promote any AI. If you want a physical copy of our trade paperback and you're international, you can get one from ASAP Imagination. That's it.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Come give us a try, man. We're cool. We do fun stuff. We have a blast doing it. We got a morbid sense of humor. It's like there's a ton of stuff. Come check us out.
Sounds good.
The end.
Awesome. I'm impressed. Like
It's like
All right.
the end.
All right. And now, let me see. Put up this comment. And then we're going to play
That's
one
Cameron.
of our ads. Let me get in that real quick. One of our ads from a sponsor. Gotta find where that is. Sorry. All right.
Which one do you want to play? I could play it for you.
Yeah, please do. My
You
brain
want
is
Cindy's?
just. What
We'll
do
play
we have? We
Cindy's?
do Karen, Cindy, and Darren.
Well, Karen is just my other show. We won't play that one. It's not a
All right.
sponsor.
Well,
We'll play this one.
yes. All right. So now, Josh, we're going to pull your campaign up and you can tell us all about it. So just a moment.
What campaign is that? Am I doing a
I don't
campaign?
know. You tell me.
No?
No, I forget. Who am I?
You're the OnlyFans legend. We know
Oh,
that.
that's right.
Ah.
Yeah, I got to clock in on that here pretty soon. You'll get stretched out first, though.
Oh, God.
Got to get limber,
Yeah.
get lubricated.
All right. So tell us about Cocaine Stripper Stronghold.
All right.
Oh, I will do that. So yeah, Cocaine Stripper Stronghold is it was a novel that I wrote 3 years ago, and the novel is like a horde of zombie businessmen and a biker gang attack a brothel because they like cocaine and strippers. And it's kind of like a Western setting kind of thing, kind of in the vein of like From Dusk Till Dawn, with some Mad Max thrown in. But like I wrote it just almost as a farce. Like I thought it'd be ridiculous. But I ended up like developing the characters pretty well. So I really wanted to do something with it. Plus it sells like so fast. Like I've had to order these books so many times. So I sat down, I wrote a 4-part comic book series prequel. So the lady there, that's Jane. She is the head mistress of the brothel, but this is her story of how she goes from kind of like this posh rich girl who was more or less raised during the zombie apocalypse, but on a high rise that was self-sustaining. So her parents died, and then the building is falling apart because it's not going to work forever. So she doesn't have a choice. She has to venture out into the world for the first time. And in this issue number 1 here, she meets that guy there, Philly Cratchit, who teaches her how to survive in the zombie apocalypse. And it's quite the book. The novel is very raunchy. The comic is toned down a little bit with like sex and stuff, but it's still funny. There's cursing and stuff. But yeah, you see where Jane's parents have died. She has to leave. That's page 1. Page 2, her first zombie encounter is in the lobby of her building. And we gave her kind of a layup. She meets this old lady zombie with her zombie dog. See, Lori and I have zombie dogs. And
I love the zombie Nana. That's the best. I use that too. It's great. Sorry.
Yeah. But and then also for this one, which I think is a big deal, I was able to secure the talent of Mike DiCarlo, who many of you may know as the guy who worked on Batman Death in the Family, Omega Men 3, first appearance of He-Man, first appearance of Booster Gold. I met him, pitched him the idea, and he loved it. So he came on board, and he did the cover, and he did the flashback pages, which we did kind of monochromatic to show the reader that it's a flashback. But yeah, in this first issue, man, it's something. It's funny, it's unpredictable, and more or less it's just me trying to figure out how I would survive a zombie apocalypse if I was a super hot girl that was born and raised on a high rise. So
we can all dream, baby.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, as you can see, we've got 3 different covers, all Mike's art in different variations of being completed. Then, of course, the novel, which we changed the logo to match the comic because that would be ridiculous if we didn't do that. And we're doing okay. You know, Lori has a lot going on with her Kickstarter, which is awesome. Like all that was amazing, to be honest. Ed and I were talking before the show. Like my brain, I'm more of a con person. Like I can sell at a con. My brain doesn't work so well with Kickstarters and stuff. So mine are pretty kind of basic. You know, you get the books. You know, we got some stretch goals where you can get some magnets and stuff like that. But it's a fun book, and you know, like I said, just having Mike on board, you know, and throughout the process, he's telling me, he's like, I don't have to work on this. He's like, I do the work that I want to do. Mm-hmm. So for somebody that has worked at the highest levels to say, this is a book I want to work on, I think that should speak for itself, hopefully with most comic readers. So,
yeah. And you do have the novel available if people want to get that in there too. Because I don't know if I have that. I usually get all your stuff, but I think I missed that one. So it will be something I grab.
It's super funny. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of zombie stuff. You haven't seen a zombie thing like this. I can pretty much guarantee
cool.
Things that happened in that book have never been written.
All right.
Got to push the boundaries on those zombies.
I pushed pretty fucking hard.
I like that. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to read that, and I got to go change my pledge and add the book to it so I can get that. Is it an add-on that I can throw in there?
More than likely, yeah.
All right, then I will go back.
What am I talking? I made the thing. Yes, it is an add-on.
Maybe. I don't know. Listen, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
All right, so we got our next sponsor video. We're going to play that, and then we'll talk about Fish's campaign.
Wow.
All right. So,
Wow.
Fish, I'm going to pull yours up right now, and then you can tell us all about yours.
Alrighty.
All right. So, Green Zone.
Green Zone, Life in the Blocks. It takes place in a world where anybody could be born a mutant, and if you are automatically against the law. I know it seems like far-fetched fantasy that the world could just make it illegal to be who you are, but that's the case in Green Zone. If you are outlawed, you are shoved into these giant camps where they concentrate all those people they don't like, called green zones, and you live in these giant overbuilt ghettos called the blocks, and they leave you there to die. And humanity is perfectly fine with that because, frankly, let's be honest, you're all supervillains waiting to happen anyway. And so if you want to get out, if you want to like find that path to citizenship, get your green card and move out of the green zones, you have to prove that you're one of the good ones and not a threat to humanity by serving the greater good for 5 years. So you could try the army or, the fire department. This follows a group of new recruits on the police force as they're trying to navigate a corrupt law enforcement system, a corrupt system designed to keep them down in the first place. Can they make it to 5 years and not go to prison for using their powers or get killed in the process just to be able to get their citizenship? Can they survive a world of humans that hate them and look down on them like they're mall cops at best, and their own people look at them as race traitors for, becoming cops? It's a horrible no-win situation, but this is the only chance they've got to try and get out. This is about somebody with no options taking anything that's offered to them to try and make a better life for themselves and try and claw their way to the top. Whatever you think it's about when you hear cops, it is not about that. Trust me, you need to check it out. It is deep. It is complex. It is one of the most interesting things to write. I have yet to have another creative read a copy of Green Zone and not come to me with a whole bunch of new story ideas or a new song or a new something. Like literally the rap that is in the video at the top of the campaign was written by one of my fans. He got so excited about it. He wrote this rap that just explains out everything that's going on, and it's freaking amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And just because he got excited about the story idea, I've had so many people come to me with story ideas. It's awesome. And issues 1 through 4 are just making it through their first shift. Like by the end of issue 1, half of them have gotten arrested by human cops. Half of them are covered in blood. By the end of issue 2, the police station has been bombed, and by the end of issue 3, the whole place is collapsing. People are burned alive. One of the training officers is laying on the ground, maybe dead. So in issue 4, we find out like who survives, who doesn't, what's going on. Oh man, it's an exciting story, man. I love it. Much like Josh was saying, I keep my campaign pretty tight because I've lost a lot of money on add-ons before that seem really cool, and then you have to buy this expensive thing for like 2 people that ordered it. So it's pretty much just the books and back issues and stuff. There is a variant cover crossover with Danny J. Quick from Ace Blade because Ace Blade number 9 is running right now. So he has a variant cover with my character Virgil on it, fighting Ace Blade, that you can get over there. And I have the cover that's like right before that. And there's live art and stuff that you can pick up. The former inks from previous variant covers that I did and stuff is available. And something that I really like that we added this time is a delayed shipping tier. So for like $1, if you're one of my regular backers that backs everything, or you're one of the overseas backers from Singapore or Australia or India or wherever, then you can pay $1 at the end of the campaign. When I get the money from Kickstarter, I will refund your shipping cost, and I'll hold on to your package till the next campaign, and I can ship it together with that. Or if you want to delay it again and again and again till the end of the year, you can absolutely do that. Because frankly, like, to send it to my buddy in Singapore, it costs just as much to send him 1 book as it does to send him 3 pounds of books. So, it's in his best interest to just wait and pay that exorbitant shipping fee one time. And I know like a lot of our friends in the UK and stuff, it's the same thing. It's so expensive. Like,
yeah,
Just wait, do it one time.
Yeah, that's smart. I had never thought about that, but it gets so expensive. And I have a couple backers from Belgium. They always buy, and yeah, to say, okay, well, this year we're going to be putting out 10, 11, and 12. If you want to wait and get them all in one swoop, do that, because yeah, it's definitely pricey. So that's something I'll think about for the next one. This one's already running and some of those guys have already bought, but yeah, for the next campaign, do that. Like, okay, you'll get 11 and 12 all in one shot instead of paying, it's like $25 per. So that's, instead of paying $50, because like you said, 1 book, 2 books makes no difference.
Do you guys get a lot of overseas backers?
I get a handful, but the ones that do are the guys that come back every time, and the guys that buy the all covers tier and will buy everything that I put out. So they're absolutely the guys I want to keep happy.
Yeah, I don't even.
And I have a good amount as well. Yeah, so he gets it binging.
I put the link for Cocaine Stripper Stronghold as well.
I thought I put it in there, but if I didn't, it's there twice, and that's good.
Just put it again.
I'm trying to add them on the Facebook. So we got one more ad to go through, and then we'll let we have 2 more campaigns. So we'll let Keith talk, and then I will talk about my own campaign and shameless self-promotion here. So let's see. Our last one is Brett. Here we go. Let's check Brett's.
Welcome to Based on a True Story, Volume 6, Tales of the Underworld, where true crime collides with the furry, funny, and fierce world of the Dust Bunny Mafia. This brand new 32-page comic reimagines real mafia legends, Mad Dog Cole, John Gotti, and more, through the eyes of our animal mobsters. Think The Godfather meets Looney Tunes, packed with action, humor, and full-color storytelling.
All right. So there's Brett's. I always like his stuff. I'm talking to him to do a Corruptor cover where he can make my Mafia Hitman into an animal and turn all the demons into animals as well. So I think it'd be fun. It's hopefully something we'll do for one of the issues coming up. So we have another campaign to talk about. Keith, so let me pull that up. And I've backed all of them now. I like to always back these ones, because if I'm telling people out there watching this show to back them, well, why don't I practice what I preach and back them myself? So let me get this up so we can see it on the screen, and you can tell us a little bit about Rosethorn.
Well, Rosethorn is part of the SB-verse, and what the SB-verse is just basically a universe that I developed, that I created, of just characters. SB-verse is actually short for espionage universe. So these are like spies, military, mercenaries, people for hire, freelancers, and different things. And Rosethorn is actually the breakout title that's part of this. And Erica Santiago, also known as Rosethorn, she's a young woman. She's out for vengeance. Her father was killed, and she's on this road of redemption. And throughout the book, it just goes and explains her adventures of going through this. She's looking for a guy that she believes is responsible for her father's death. And like all stories, there's a twist that actually, what happened. It's part of a bigger puzzle. All my characters are connected in some form of fashion. Either they're connected then or they're connected later. And that's all part of the SB-verse. Primarily, the SB-verse is full of women protagonists. So this right here, this is the artwork, the interior artwork, which is done by Mikel Oliveira. And he's an excellent artist, an excellent penciler. And it's a lot of action in it. There's nudity. It's for an adult. It's for adults. There's nudity. Nothing like smutty. The nudity makes sense. Topless, different things. At a strip club, you're going to see people topless dancing or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Cover your eyes, Josh. I gave use AI for some of my artwork. As you go through the campaign, it's actually labeled what's AI, what's not. This is actually done by an actual artist. I tried to have it in the campaign. All their artwork is in one section. And this is one of my favorite covers that I like. It's called the Ambush cover. So that's Rose Thorn coming out of the shower. And in the background on the side, you can see one of the henchmen. So she's about to take him out. And I tried to kind of have everything all together. This is another one, another thing called the shower cover. So I tried to have all my covers together where you could do them in bundle sets. I have a total, I think, 33 covers that like different variants, which I don't know. I got these artists and I just told them, send me what you got. And I just really want to display their work. So I spent quite a bit of money on the covers, but I couldn't reject them. I just couldn't reject any cover. And I was like, you know what? We'll put it, build it. They will come. We'll let the people decide. This is art done by an artist by the name of Mark Henry. To my knowledge, he worked on Marvel and a couple of other primary comic books. So this is his artwork there. And it's basically just the story is cutting dry. It's 3 to 6 parts depending on how well things go. And as I said, it's all connected. This branch it's a branching arc where the next book that's coming out within the series is called Danietta. And Danietta actually ties into Rose Thorn. There's another character by the name of Ginger Snap. It ties it all together. And this is actually my first break of creating like my own comic and you know, putting it out. And it's just been a journey. It's been a journey. I've been learning just different aspects of what to do, what not to do. And, you know, I hope everyone just kind of helps out and just supports my vision of the SB-verse, Work for Hire Productions. That's the name of my company. And help Rose Thorn and everything else, all the other titles, man, come to life. You know, this is a cover. It's a primary cover by Dwight, and it has different variations, black and white. All my covers are foil and metal, so you can get them in foil and metal. The prices are not that far in between. I know some people $50, $60 for metal, and I was like, you know, hey. Now this part right here, you can actually it's a reward that you can actually be part of the comic, where you'll sit down with me and the artist, and we'll actually create a character for you. And I believe it's 5 panels. You'll have 5 panels in an upcoming title with your character. Your character that's created is your character or whatever. And you sit down with me and the other writer, you know, well, I'm no writer, but with the other artist, and we develop your character and we'll put them in a future book. Also, with this package here, you also get one of the bundles, which is, I believe, like 10 to 12 books that come with it. So not only are you featured in a title, you also get a bunch of books that come with it. I have statues, statue and figurines that are also up on the Kickstarter for the add-ons. I tried to keep everything kind of straightforward just with books. There's posters you can get on the add-ons. There's posters. There's the statue, you know, the figurine. As I said, it's kind of like my first one. I did not know. Like Lori, I was just, oh man, I was so impressed. I was like, why didn't I think of that? Yeah, this is what we have for the stretch goals. The stretch goals are actually covers, or 2 are covers. The last one is something real big that we got to get there. I don't want to say. We have 5 days left on the campaign. So I don't think we'll hit any of the stretch goals, but maybe we do that for a different campaign, whatever the case may be. And so, no, this is basically my character, Rose Thorn. For more information, you can go to work for, the number 4, Hire Production. Hire as in HIRE, like for work, not higher up, but Hire Production. And there will be more information about the company, about our future projects and everything. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick video for my own book, and it won't get flagged. I played it once and we didn't get kicked off. So I'm going to do my own video, and then I'll talk about my campaign for a minute, and we'll move on. All right. So Bicentennial Special. For 200 years, we have been blessed with the greatest gift ever bestowed upon humanity, immortality. Now we all live in a world without the fear of death and loss, a world where we know that our loved ones will always be with us. On January 1st, in the year 2000, we gained this glory.
We interrupt this special with breaking news. The control center of our beloved Guardian Force has been infiltrated by a dangerous terrorist group from the underground. This group was founded by known criminal Dr. Man, who fled the surface years ago, rather than face trial for his heinous crimes. This group is the greatest threat to our immortal gift, as we have confirmed that their primary agenda is to restore the life cycle of the Death Era. We have positively identified Miguel Ayala and Aroni Hope as the primary culprits in this invasion. These are the same terrorists who inflicted millions of dollars of damage to Payne Valley Medical Center, while also injuring numerous Guardians. Rest assured that our president has dispatched his elite forces to assure that this threat is stopped quickly and that our immortality will remain unthreatened. For more details about this invasion, tune in to our 10 o'clock coverage. We'll return you to the Bicentennial Special after a word from our sponsors.
Our campaign for issue 10 features many exciting rewards for returning readers, as well as those brand new to the Immortal Era universe. This campaign also includes a Garbage Pail Kids homage cover by James Michael Hammond, limited to only 100 copies. With numerous physical and digital rewards, there's something for all readers. All right, so I'll just share real quick about my campaign, because you can see it every week when you come on here, but it's for issue 10 of Immortal Era. And let me grab it up here.
It's crazy you're on issue 10 already, man.
I know. It's moving quick, and it's... Yeah. We have all the art done for issues 11 and 12 already, so it's going to move pretty quick. This year we'll be releasing 10, 11, and 12, and then the second of the trade. So, yeah, we have issue 10. I don't have fancy, cool stuff like Lori. I need to get her to make like a hot sauce for one of my people, but...
Why y'all picking on me?
No, we're not picking. We're envious.
You've got a layer of creativity we don't have, and I'm jealous.
We're picking on you because we're jealous. We're just
we're
all jealous. We want your bread. We want your campaign, and
I make a lot of books. I don't make those kind of cool ideas for.
Yeah, you have the good ideas. So
thanks,
I have the basic story. It's a world 200 years in the future where everyone's gained immortality, but not powers or abilities. So they still age, still get sick. There's my character who's just a decapitated head who continues living on.
Amazing.
So it's about a group of heroes trying to find relics that would bring death back into the world, because their goal is to save humanity by killing them. And in issue 10, like we saw in the video, this group they've infiltrated the headquarters of where all the police forces kept. Their goal in there, they want to find one of the relics that's hidden in there and also blow it up, because the people that are running that place, they just are randomly killing people on the surface. Well, not killing them, I guess, but popping their heads off, tossing their bodies to cannibals, and making life a mess for all of them. So they're trying to get rid of them.
Makes me giggle. Sorry.
For the sneak peek, I don't have the lettered version yet. That's going to come on probably Tuesday. I do the first one with just the pages, and then we get the lettered. So it starts where issue 9 ended, where we were doing a flashback of this character, Father. We saw his entire backstory, and then we get the last bit of the backstory, and then it goes right into them breaking into the control center. But the first few pages are just about him finishing up his story and them making a plan so they don't get attacked again. Because in issue 6, they got attacked. Their village was nearly destroyed. So now they need to train the people in this village so they're not vulnerable to attacks. So we have our creative team. Cesar Oliveira does all the art. Maya Opasik does my colors. Dan Schmidt does the letters. I'm also working with him on a new title. We're going to do a little one-shot called Floaters, about how eye floaters are actually parasites made to take over your brain. And all of it was written in hospital waiting rooms when I was getting surgeries for my own eye floaters. So
that's my boy, Chuck.
And then there's Chuck, the editor. And then, yeah, just different covers. I have the standard cover, the holofoil variant, short print variant, and the Garbage Pail Kids cover. And you can kind of get an idea of those ones a little bigger. And then I do have a few pieces of original artwork that are both sold, so I'll probably add some more. The first two sold pretty quickly. There is a draw-in tier, so if you want to be in issue 12, you can be drawn in as a cannibal eating someone or someone being eaten by a cannibal. So you have the choice to be drawn in as either one. So do you want to be eaten, or do you want to watch, do you want to see yourself eating someone else? And then we have all our back cover or all our back issues. I have different CGC copies available of this and Corruptor. I have a 9.9 that I got from Corruptor, the first one I've ever pulled. We have a Garbage Pail Kids metal card. And then I was part of the Cthulhu Invades Fairy Tales preview edition, so you can get that in this campaign. Little Ari Chibi sticker. And then the different stretch goals that we're going to unlock. We've unlocked up to the variant cover magnet, and then if we go past 4,000, I'll add some more, but at the moment I have it up to 4,000 and I will add more if needed. And then of course, just transparency. You can see where everything goes, and yeah, that's it. So hopefully you can get on there and check this out. This is issue 10. So it's moving fast. By the end of the year, we'll have 2 full story arcs out and be putting out that second trade.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right. So thank you, everyone, for being on today. I appreciate you coming on. And
thanks for having me.
Close it out. We are going to close out the show. So have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I guess watch the Super Bowl or bake bread, whichever you prefer.
Big bread.
Big bread.
Go
bread.
I think I'm with you. I'm if I can break this stupid fever, then I will be cooking a lot of stuff, and it's a brisket that I gotta toss in the smoker. So,
gosh.
Okay.
So I will not bake bread. I will smoke brisket, but still.
And I'm coming to your house.
Yeah.
You bring the bread. I'll provide.
I'm thinking sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's the plan. A good brisket sandwich will hit the spot. All right. Well, thank you for coming, and we will see you next week. Same place, same time.
All right. How we going, everyone? Thank y'all.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends, catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic.